Welcome to the KZGN News. Today we're bringing you news from the City Council, Ridgecrest Police Department, some interesting news about former President Reagan, and today's KZGN Talking Points editorial.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Wicknick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the entire Indian Wells Valley. The City Council held a regular meeting last evening. During public comment, they got an update from the China Lake Median Committee. They are moving forward with establishing criteria for median art. All art is going to be petroglyphics in style. They have 8 of the 18 locations spoken for. They are looking for other donors to step up and pay for the remaining 10 spots. Also during public comment, it was announced by the Historical Society of the Upper Mojave Desert that plans were being made for a 70th anniversary USO celebration to be held in October. More info will come on that. During the agenda portion of the meeting, they took action on the following items. They approved a number of engineering contracts for engineering support for the following projects: a number of street repair projects, a large bike lane project to build a bike lane along South Richmond Road. This project will extend the bike path from the Bowman Road right-of-way that ends now at Richmond Road, down Richmond Road to the park and ride lot at East Ridgecrest Boulevard in Richmond. They also approved a very large increase in the sewer fees we all pay that we'll see in next year's property tax bills. The increase is a 50% increase. I'll cover this in the Talking Points editorial later on in the news tonight. During public hearings, the Council took the following actions. They held a public hearing to approve the Environmental Impact Report and adopt a resolution approving the mitigated negative declaration for the Ridgecrest Commercial Specific Plan Offsite Improvements Project. This is also known as the Walmart Improvement Project. The City of Ridgecrest has been in the process of working with Walmart to bring a new super Walmart to the community for over a decade. This effort resulted in the development of a Ridgecrest Specific Plan, which was a qualified voter-sponsored initiative adopted without alteration by the City Council on February 3, 2010. This plan governs approximately 28 acres of vacant land at the southeast corner of South China Lake Boulevard and East Bowman Road. It allows for the development of a 205,000 square foot major tenant proposed to be a super Walmart, a 16 pump fueling station and 500 square foot building, a 25,000 square foot retail building, and a 5,000 square foot retail building. In the case of the proposed project, the analysis presented in the study indicates that the mitigation measures included in the plan will reduce all identified potentially significant effects to a level of insignificance. Only one person got up during the public hearing and gave concern of a couple items in it, and asked the Council to delay approval until the items are dealt with. Staff addressed the concerns and said that his particular concerns were the same as the city's, but that the concerns are going to be handled during the actual building permit and site plan approval process. So there was no reason to not approve the plan tonight. After the public hearing, the Council approved the plan, so the Walmart project continues to move forward. Next, they held a public hearing to adopt a resolution certifying the negative declaration prepared for the General Plan Housing Element update as adequate under the California Environmental Quality Act, adopting the updated housing element of the General Plan for 2015 to 2023, and directed staff to submit the updated housing element to the state. The housing element is one of 7 mandatory General Plan elements required by the state of California. Housing element law mandates that local governments adequately plan to meet the existing and projected housing needs of all economic segments of the community. The city's previous housing element was adopted in 2002 by the City Council and certified by the state during the same year. During the past several months, the City of Ridgecrest has been preparing this housing element update of our general plan. The city has contracted with the consulting firm PMC to assist in the preparation of this 2015-2023 housing element. In order for the housing element to be certified by the state, amendments to the city's zoning ordinance were approved by the City Council on May 6, 2015. After a briefing by the consultant, the public hearing was opened up. The consultant briefed that the draft plan had already been submitted to the state for initial review and comment. She reported that they did get the state's comments back and incorporated their comments into the plan the council now has before them for approval. The consultant predicts easy state approval of the final plan. There was no public comment on the plan, so the council approved it as is. In Ridgecrest Police Department news, we want to remind everyone that the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit on North China Lake Boulevard is still there. Yesterday, we found Sergeant Myers out there running a radar education stop point, letting people know the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit is still in effect. Anyone doing over 25 was being stopped and reminded of the speed limit. I also saw many other officers making speed limit stops all along the stretch yesterday morning. Even though there are segments that seem to be done, the speed limit is still for the entire length of North China Lake Boulevard. Remember, the cost of violations in the construction zone is double the violation in a non-construction zone. I've heard reports of just 10 miles an hour over the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit can cost around $400. That's a lot of bucks, so slow down out there. Now here's some interesting news about former President Reagan. It has been reported that President Ronald Reagan carried a handgun with him at all times during his years in office. Author Brad Meltzer writes in the New York Daily News. Meltzer says he was doing research for his latest thriller, The President's Shadow, and wanted to talk to Secret Service agents about how the president lives. At Secret Service headquarters, he was taken to a small museum area where he saw such items as the newspaper marking John F. Kennedy's assassination and the actual door from the limousine Reagan was getting into when he was shot by John Hinckley Jr. It was an eerie keepsake for sure, Meltzer writes, but not nearly as eerie as the next detail they told me. We were talking about the Reagan and the day that he was shot. Then one of the agents offered this secret. When Reagan was president, he carried his own gun. Reagan carried the .38 caliber in his briefcase and even took it out to Air Force One, Meltzer was told. Meltzer didn't say whether Reagan was already carrying the gun when Hinckley shot him on March 30th, 1981, just 69 days after his inauguration, or whether it was the shooting that inspired him to carry the gun. But you have to admire that he did what he wanted and what he thought was right. Way to go, Ronald Reagan. Stay tuned for today's KZGN Talking Points editorial when we come back.
Hi everyone, I'm Jolene Sen and I'm here at Ridgecrest Animal Shelter with Mary and Wendy. So Mary, can you tell me something about Wendy? What's her breed? How long has she been here?
She is a Siamese calico mix and she's been here since January. She's about 1.5 years old. She's already fixed and she's very sweet and affectionate. And I don't know if your camera can tell, but she's got beautiful blue eyes.
They're gorgeous.
And she's very affectionate and would be a wonderful house cat.
Is she good with other animals and children?
She is. She's good with other dogs. She's been around my shepherd, Ruby, and she's been around small dogs as well. And she likes cats.
Okay. And is it still Adopt a Cat Month?
It is. It's Adopt a Shelter Cat Month, the entire month of June, and all fees are waived, which means you get a free cat that is spayed, vaccinated, microchipped, has a health exam from one of the local vets, and they are waiting for a home, and we have many.
Okay, so can you let the public know about your location and hours, please?
Sure. We are located at 411 San Bernardino Boulevard, otherwise known as County Line Road. Our phone number is 760-499-5190. We are open Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 5, and Saturday, 10 to 4. And you can also see our animals on our animal shelter webpage for Facebook. So just go to Facebook, put in Ridgecrest Animal Shelter, and all the photos of what we have here will come up.
Okay, great. So come on down and adopt a cat. It is the last month. All right. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
And thank you, Wendy. I'm Jolene Sen from KZGN-TV.
Now it's time for the 50-second KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic. Do you realize the city raised our sewer fees last night by 50%? Well, last night at the council meeting, the city voted to raise the sewer fees we all pay by 50%. This is a huge increase. There were only 4 council people attending, with Jim Sanders absent. However, the mayor reported that Jim supported approval of the rate increase as in the agenda. So 3 of them sitting up there were not involved when the previous council approved a sewer increase rate plan in 2013. The fee plan was established in a state-required Prop 218 hearing in 2013. Real quickly, a Prop 218 hearing is a state-mandated step that all cities have to go through to legally tax their citizens. The council cannot just pass a tax if they want to. Prop 218 requires all citizens affected by the fee or tax that they must be notified in writing of the proposed tax or fee. There has to be a public hearing to receive comments. This process was followed in 2013. The result of the hearing in 2013 was that approximately 9,000 property owners were notified of the proposed fee hike plan. It was noted by staff that about 800 negative comments were received. However, that was not enough to prohibit the council from approving the rate structure that covers the next 5 years. So the last council approved the rate increases. Well, last night, 3 of the 4 council members there did not know very much about this item and had to be brought up to speed as to why they have this in front of them for a decision. It was noted by staff that the main reason for the rate structure is to provide funds to repair the current sewer system and to eventually replace the current sewer facility. This replacement could range from $45 to possibly $70 million, depending on the type of facility they finally decide to build and where they decide to build it. Now on to the editorial about the rates. And I'm just rounding numbers here for simplicity of reporting. The new single-family annual rate will go from $254 per year to $356 per year. As you can see in the rate chart, the base commercial rate goes from $254 to $356 per year as well. However, the commercial rate also gets hit an additional amount raised on the type of commercial business and based on water usage. Look at the chart. These are the individual plus-up rates. These rates really add up for some businesses. Now you may think that seems reasonable, but you should know that these plus-up portion of the fee amounts to some businesses getting sewer fees in the tens of thousands of dollars per year. I saw one fee even hits about $47,000, and that's for 1 year. Did you hear me? $47,000 for a year. There are some rates totaling in the $30,000 range. Some businesses get hit tens of thousands of dollars. What looks like very small plus-up fees in this chart can really add up to big dollars. So you might say, well, if they use that much water, then it's appropriate. And I agree with the sentiment. All I want to emphasize, we wind up paying the fee. Now the part of this I have a problem with, and I got up in the meeting during the public hearing and voiced my concerns. First, the fees are not implemented equally for commercial users. Second, the fees as implemented create an unfair competition between similar commercial businesses depending on licensing permit locations. Third, the fees for single-family residences are less than some very small commercial activities. This is in reference that in a month, a single-family home can and actually does put more water sewage into the system than a small single-unit office with a half bath. Think about it. A single-family home has an average of 4 occupants using 2 or 3 bathrooms daily, showers, baths, washing clothes, running a dishwasher, etc. A small office with a half bath doesn't even come close to the usage. And the fourth complaint I have is the next concern is that commercial businesses that are mobile in nature but still dump into the sewer system get no bill at all. These are businesses like mobile car washes, mobile food service trucks, mobile dog washing businesses, landscapers that wash their equipment into the streets, etc. They have to wash and clean their business equipment and dump their waste somewhere. Well, they dump it into our sewer for free with no fee. So my point of this editorial is that the rate structure is not fair. Its implementation is not fair. I would add that the 3 new council members, which includes the mayor, were very apprehensive about the rate structure. After my series of questions and concerns, the mayor said she agreed with me on some points. She suggested that there should be a follow-up agenda item to discuss my points of concern. I really don't have a problem with the single-family and multifamily rates. However, While the approved commercial rate structure appears to be fair on the surface, it really isn't. When you get down to really analyzing the commercial rates, they are not fair. Commercial uses need to be more individually analyzed to establish fair rates applied to the usage of water. The rate charge categories are too broad and all-encompassing without regard to the actual sewage dumped into the system. Again, my simplest example. Why does a business with 1 or 2 people working in an office with a half bath pay the rate equivalent to a single-family home, plus the commercial user pays an additional amount based on the water usage supplied from the water district? Why does the commercial rate apply to a commercial property owner but not to commercial businesses that don't use property but still dump into our system? Why does a commercial business that uses a single family address pay less than the same type of business in a commercial address? The current system is not fair. It needs to be adjusted. I don't know if adjusting the rate structure would require another Prop 218 hearing, but if it does, so be it. The current implementation and rate structure is not fair. In conclusion, the implementation of the sewer fee rates needs to be reviewed and made fair to all customers. A more detailed analysis needs to be done in establishing the commercial rate structure. I look forward to the mayor putting this on a future agenda real soon. If she doesn't, we'll be talking about this again. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments or questions about this editorial, or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Stay tuned for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's go to Keith for the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, Tropical Depression Bill is slowly trekking northeastward. It will bring flash flooding to Oklahoma and Illinois with excessive rainfall. Severe thunderstorms are possible across the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic region, as well as the northern plains. Meanwhile, dry weather and above normal temperatures will continue in the southwest. Temperatures across the nation. Massachusetts came in at 70, Carolinas 92, Georgia 91, Texas 77, Kansas 78, New Mexico 79, Arizona 98, San Francisco 59, and Los Angeles at 65. And for our forecast here in the IWV, tonight will be clear with a low around 70, breezy with a south-southwest wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Wind gusts high as 30. Tonight will be clear with a low around 70, breezy with a south-southwest wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour, with wind gusts as high as 30. Friday will be sunny and hot with a high near 107, south-southwest wind, 5 miles per hour. Friday night, clear with a low around 70, south-southwest wind, 5 miles per hour. Saturday will be sunny and hot with a high near 108, calm wind, 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear with a low around 72, west-southwest wind, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday will be sunny and hot with a high near 105, west wind, 5 miles per hour. And Sunday night will be clear with a low around 71, breezy with a west wind, 15 to 25 miles per hour. And that is your local forecast. Now back to Tom and the rest of your KZGN news.
Thanks, Keith. Let's go to Tom Eck with sports.
And a very pleasant Thursday afternoon to everyone. Let's start with the Angels. They dropped a 3-2 decision last night out in the desert in Phoenix. That's 2 of 3 now for Arizona in this 4-game series. 2 are in Anaheim, 2 are in Phoenix. They will play tonight again. The Angels had plenty of opportunities to score runs last night. They were 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They dropped the 1-run game, and now they will play Game 4 tonight before going on to Oakland to take on the Athletics Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Oakland Coliseum. All right, the Angels last night combined with the Diamondbacks, 23 hits in the game, but both teams left men on base practically every inning. Okay, the Dodgers, they lose again to Texas. Boy, the Rangers really playing well right now, surprisingly, with all the injuries that they've had with pitching and Beltran out of the lineup and Darvish out of the lineup, but still they're managing somehow to hang around the American League West. They trail Houston by 2.5 games. The Angels, after losing last night, are now 5.5 games out of first place in the American League West. The Yankees beat the Marlins. They slow them down a little bit. 2-1 the final. Phillies lose again. 8 in a row for the Phils. And they are in last place. 23 games under 500. Ryan Sandberg, their manager, in a lot of hot water. Tampa Bay, a winner last night. They shut out Washington. Tampa Bay now 6 games over 500, and they find themselves, as things start today, they find themselves 6 games above 500 and in first place in the American League East. Kansas City, an easy winner last night, 10-2. Twins beat St. Louis, slow St. Louis down. St. Louis leading the Central. We'll put the standings up tomorrow for you. The Cubs win again. They shut out Cleveland 17-0. Yeah, that's a 1 and a 7. And the Astros over Colorado. That's 3 in a row over the Rockies down in Houston. 8-4 the final last night. That's now 3 in a row for Houston. And as mentioned, they lead the Angels by 5.5 games in the West. Oakland puts up 16 runs against San Diego, and that ruined the debut of now their new manager, Pat Murphy. Murphy last coached with the AAA team this year, also the former coach at Arizona State and the former head coach at Notre Dame. He took the spot of Bud Black, who they let go Monday after 9.5 years at the helm. Seattle with King Felix Hernandez, they shut out San Francisco. Boy, the Giants, either feast or famine. They get on a roll, then they all of a sudden go into a slump. They've been very inconsistent, but with the Dodgers losing, Giants still only 3 games out of first place. And Detroit best Cincinnati. All right, College World Series last night, Miami 2, I should say, and they gave up 10 runs to Florida. So Florida stays alive. Miami now eliminated. They're the 3rd team to be eliminated. Arkansas, Cal State, Fullerton, and now the Hurricanes all eliminated. Plans for the Chargers to try to keep the team in San Diego right now. A big push is on. They're going to have a plan in August for a new stadium. Let's see what the Chargers say. If they balk at it and say no, chances are they may be in Los Angeles very soon. How about that? The San Diego Chargers become the LA Chargers. That's your sports for this Thursday afternoon. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's the news for today. All of us at KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing us, KZGN-TV, Richcrest's only community-owned TV station. Now, stay with us for a great video showing how fishing and water skiing goes together.